Hello and welcome to the session 2 of content writing workshop presented to you by Youvah. I am your mentor. नाम तो सुना ही होगा, हर्ष. याद नहीं है, याद कर लो. फॉलो नहीं किया तो वो भी कर लो, so that we can be in touch and talk more about your achievements and your growth. So this second session we will be talking about the fundamentals. Now we have got the idea of basics and concepts and evolution of content writing from industry 1 to industry 4 and 5. We will be now talking about fundamentals of content writing. These are 4 core elements for effective content writing. Now, first, you write a creative and compelling headline. You draft an headline and you just keep that in mind, that it should make people stay and read your headline once you've got the attention of your audience. Second is, you need to structure your content with clarity, for clarity, and with flow, in flow. Both of these things, or I should say 4 of these things, are important. Why? Because if you without structure write something, that is, you're writing problem first, then you talk about the repercussions that has happened, and then again the problem, and then you talk a little bit about solution, and then you go to the discussion of what has happened in this recent time, and then you give suggestions, and then you again talk about problem, and then you give your suggestions. That's so confusing while I'm saying it, but then audience are just going to read it. You are right now listening to me, watching me, and hence you still are getting confused. But if your content has a proper structure, has a proper flow, where you describe your problem, where you talk about different data points about how this has happened and how this is being going on, and then you talk about how different things are affecting your life, when did it happen, and what kind of solutions you propose to people. This sounds like a proper solution. Might not be a proper solution for everyone, but for an example, this is kind of a solution which you can think of in terms of getting the flow or structure of the content right. Third is writing with readers in mind. So a lot of times I tell people that when we are writing, it is coming out of our brains. So for writers, their content piece becomes the brainchild. So we get very possessive about our brainchilds, and we just think that this is the best piece of content that you've written, while we forget that it might be the best piece of content that you have written. It is not you who will be reading it, it is the readers who will be reading it. So is it fair enough for readers to read it, engage, and stay hooked with this content piece that you've written? That's the question you need to ask. And then fourth is SEO basics. You should know how to incorporate the keywords. You should know how to structure the content as per the SEO structures, as per the SEO norms, and how you're going to rank it better on different positions. These are the 4 elements that we should be learning for an effective content writing. And while I'm teaching you, I'm also learning, because these things are getting evolved. This course is getting renewed every year or now, so that we stay on track, on point, and with all the updates and technologies attached in this course. With this effective content writing, you've got an idea what all things go into, the ingredients of content writing, how to make it a better one. With that, I want to share different kinds of writing, content writing first. There is one more, that is copywriting, and we will cover that later in one of our sessions. I've separately kept it in my session and in this particular course, because I am a copywriter. Copywriter does not mean who gets a trademark or something like that. Copywriter means who write small copy pieces or large copy pieces, whatever it is, but it is outside SEO, and it is more on human psychology driven content ideas. It is more about persuasive writing rather than information or trust building writing. The first, coming back to this particular slide, the first type of content writing and with the best practices is blogs. We've all interacted with blogs at one or the other point. The first, I've kept the blogs first because we read blogs a lot of time. There are blogs from travel companies, there are blogs from law firms, there are blogs from medical firms. Blogs are written by everyone: cafes, food joints, delivery apps. So this captures the attention of everyone. Blogs. Now, as per the definition, because I have written a definition as well, a blog post can be any content idea that's written in a casual tone with a word count of 600 to 1000 words. Got it? 2-3 pointers you might want to add in your notes. The objective is to tackle a specific problem or query, engaging readers and keeping them informed. Few best practices that you might want to adopt for a better blog writing. First is you need to maintain conversational tone. It is not something that you will be bashing out on people. It's a conversational based content writing style. So you need to maintain the conversational tone. Second is structured introduction, then body and conclusion. That's the flow of your blog. You introduce to the topic, you write about the topic, whatever thing it is, problem, solution, ideation, recreation, whatever it is, and then you conclude. Second type of writing is article. Now, articles are majorly written by firms which are more formal. They drive a lot of research or data into it, and as per the definition, I would say, and these definitions are as per my understanding, so these might not be found on Google as it is, right? Articles are more formal and research backed, ranging from 800 to 1500 words. They aim to establish credibility and educate audiences. The difference between blogs and articles might be getting a little clear to you. The best practices for writing an article is that you include expert opinions, case studies, and you include statistics in it. The objective here is to build authority and authenticity. The third point is article uses structured sections with proper citations. So you might want to add a small subheading to the major heading after you write it. Let's say the big heading is content writing, subheading is article. Under article, I might be talking about expert opinion, case studies, and statistics. So these are like subheadings. So you need to give proper citations and define sections in it as well. Third is case study. Now, these case studies are a path, they are an in-depth content piece that shows a problem and then the approach towards the solution of it, and the measurable results for the same. So these case studies are majorly driven by agencies, big firms, where they take up a problem, they find a solution to it, and then they address the problem, how the solution was driven, and what kind of results are coming through it. That is what case studies mean. Fourth is white papers. White papers majorly, are analytical documents providing deep insights into specific industry problems, specific solutions to those problems. So these are not, this coincides with case studies somewhere in the definition if you see, but this is different. Here, if you remember Bhool Bhulaiya 1, where Akshay Kumar came And while Akshay Kumar talks to this Guruji, he says that you came to London once to read a paper. That paper is a white paper. I used to think, why is Guruji going over there and reading Dainik Bhaskar? Can't they all read it? But then I was remembered that, oh, I went on finding and white paper is there what I find. So when you see these big events happening where they're talking about problems and their solutions, and when they read their statement, that statement when comes from a firm's side or a particular individual who was long standing in doing good work in that particular profession, when they say, that is kind of a paper they are reading. And it depends on the understanding and the format of the event as well. But you get an idea of what white paper is. So to write a white paper, the best practices for it would be, it should be highly factual and data driven. It should target decision makers and professionals. This uses the structure flow of abstract, introduction, findings and conclusion. So in an abstract way, you will write in 2-3 lines what this white paper is about or what your thoughts were, and then you talk about the introduction to what you're going to say, read or explain to people. Then you talk about the findings and then the conclusions. And the red flags for this particular session is avoid generic or vague content rather than maintain a clear focus. Don't go for the same thing again and again. Observe what you feel about it. Observe what other people are feeling about it. And observe how these things are moving forward. So you'll have a focus on what things are going on. And in some period, you will take small breaks. Don't go on scrolling. Let your mind, marinate and cook every thought that you're having inside. Take a bath, take a run, take a walk, go for swimming, do some chillax thing. Second red flag would be, don't stuff keywords unnecessarily. So when you're writing blogs or articles for online platforms, don't just stuff keywords, don't make it so keyword heavy, because you remember people who just are pushy or they are being salesy. You don't want to stay with them, so you stay away from them, and hence it might come to your content if you overstuff your content with keyword. The third is, don't write solely for algorithms. Engagement matters more. Like I have shared in my first session, this is the industry 4.0 and 5.0. While we have come from all of these industries, everything, every time and every interval that we have evolved, we have the fragments of the last phase that we were in. And in industry 2 and 3.0, it was user-centric content, it was emotion-centric content, and now we are getting into from that emotion-centric and user-centric to interactive content. So who are we interacting with? The audience, the interactive audience are those user audience only that we were talking about in our 2.0 and 3.0 versions of content writing. So do not write solely for engagement, because for algorithms, engagement actually matters. With that said, thank you for this particular session. If you find anything that you want to ask, head up to Instagram, LinkedIn or WhatsApp. Ping me down @unusual. Harsh is my username. Until then, bye.